All right, so after the file has downloaded, we have it here on our computer, and all we need to do is double-click that file. Now you'll see the first thing that it asks you about is making sure that you accept the license terms. So if we just click on license terms, it'll give you this nice long list of things that you can and can't do. Now one thing I do want to draw your attention to is this section 1.2, which says you're allowed to have it on one licensed device. You say, okay, great, used by one person at a time. One of the things that I love about TechSmith and Camtasia is they recognize you might have a PC at home and a PC at work, or you might have, in my case, I have a laptop at home that's Windows-based and I have a Mac at work. And so they say, you know what, you might have to work on this, and maybe you need to work on it at home and at work. The question is, can I install it in two different places? And they say, all right, there is a condition, and be very clear about what they have here. And it says, you may also install and run a second copy of the software on a second licensed device for use only by you or your internal business or individual use, whichever is applicable. Only one person at a time may use the software on each licensed device, and the two licensed devices may not be used simultaneously by that one person. So what that means is, if you want to, install it in two locations, but you can only be running it in one place at a time. So if you have it up and running at work, make sure you shut that down before you have it up and running at the one at home. So that's one of the things, like I said, that I think is great. One of the ways that I've used this is I can record on one of my machines, and then I can use the faster one to do all of my editing on. So that, like I said, I think it's a really great feature. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. So this is the End User License Agreement, or the EULA as we abbreviate it. And so you do need to accept the license terms. So be sure to read all of that. Once you have, go ahead and accept the license terms and then click Install. And you'll see the little shield there in this Windows version that indicates to you, hey, we're going to have to ask for special permissions in order for this to run. If we look real quick at the options, you can see here that we can have Camtasia 9 start after installation. Sounds good to me. Create a shortcut to Camtasia 9 on the desktop. I'm not really crazy about that. I don't need a shortcut to Camtasia 9 on my desktop, so I will opt out of that. And install the default library assets. I'm going to do that as well. It also notices that I have PowerPoint installed on this machine, and it says, do you want me to enable the add-in for Microsoft PowerPoint? Yes. So you can change these to whatever suits you best. I will go ahead and click Continue here, and then go ahead and install. Now on my machine, it comes up with this user account control window, and I can't record that on the screen because it sits like outside of Windows, but it's coming up and it's saying, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your PC? And I will say yes. Now we can see at the bottom it says preparing installation, and it has some nice animations there at the top. If you have any programs that are running and may interfere with Camtasia, it will come up and tell you what those are, and it'll ask you to close those. So a good practice would be to close all applications before installing Camtasia. In this case, it says, you can automatically close them and attempt to restart them after the setup is complete. In this case, it's the Camtasia recorder. I don't want to close that because I'm trying to capture this for you. So I'm going to say do not close the application, and it says, you may need to do a reboot later. I'm fine with that. But you may have other applications that need to be closed just to make sure that this is a smooth installation. So again, I'm choosing not to close those applications, and I'll click OK. And that's it. It was just about a minute that it took to get all the way through this. It says install successful. Camtasia 9 was installed successfully, and I can finish. Now I'll go ahead and click finish, and it says that I need to restart the computer now, and I would typically say restart now, but because I'm recording, I'm going to choose restart later. And now Camtasia has opened up automatically, just like I asked it to, and it comes up and says, do you want to use this eval version? Would you like to purchase it now, or do you have a software key? Now, if you haven't purchased a software key yet, you can just go ahead and use the eval version for 30 days. I do have a software key, so I will choose that option, and I will go down and type in that key now. So I'll put in my name, and then you can either copy and paste the key from your email that you've received from TechSmith, or I have a paper version, so I can just type mine in. And so there's mine, and I'll click finish. And then it goes out and verifies. If you mistyped one of the characters, don't worry about it, go back, they'll have it there for you, and you can fix whatever characters you may have missed. I did that the first couple times I typed it in. So now that it's verified my key, it says, all right, you're ready. Do you want to register it through the TechSmith website? And yes, I choose to do that. So I'll go ahead and say register my product. Notice that it comes up with a new website and asks you to fill in the pertinent information. So I will go ahead and do that. And at the bottom, I will click complete registration. It says thank you, and then I can jump back to Camtasia. This is done, it's already completed, so I will go ahead and close this window. So they send me to a thank you page, that's nice. Now the Getting Started project popped up and just started playing automatically. I've paused it for now. What we'll do is we will cover all of this in the next section. So our goal here in this section was to just cover how to download and install Camtasia on our machine. In the next section, we'll talk about understanding what we see here in the Camtasia interface.